Okay, today I was able to go to High Schools That Works Best Practice Showcase 2017. It's their 14th annual. It was a really good experience and a cool experience. First time I've ever been there, and we'll get right into it. One of the first sessions I was able to go to today at the conference was put on by Western Hills High School, and they talked about ACEs. ACEs is adverse childhood experiences that students experience throughout their lifetime and how that affected their behavior in class. They had a lot of expulsions and suspensions at Western Hills, and Western Hills is a city school district of the Cincinnati area. They have a pretty large population, and they're going to obviously still have a larger number of referrals, but as far as the percentages, they were higher than what the national rate was. And there's some alarming things about these kids and how they act in class and behavior in class. It's not necessarily always by choice, and granted, there is some choice by when a student says something or does something, but it wasn't necessarily totally in their control. When you look at adverse childhood experiences, we're talking about something major that most people face. And on average, most of their kids have 2 of them in their school district, and that's not good. Kids who have 4 or more, generally they were looking at, and they were on board with community leaders, and they were leveraging, that was the title of their, leveraging community resources to identify these problems. They're using Children's Hospital of Cincinnati to help with that. What they really found in the data was that their biology was changing from these adverse childhood experiences. And so it's really hard to get away from those thinking processes. And so they're setting things up for safety and places where students feel comfortable, and getting that stuff set up so that the kids can have a good learning environment. And so the community leaders from Kroger, from Lighthouse, Children's Hospital, really getting involved from many different communities and leaders in the community to help the students. And Western Hills has a lot of things to tackle. 98.8% free and reduced lunch. The ACEs, one thing that alarmed me was students who have 6+ ACEs are more likely to die 20 years earlier than the average population. That's huge. So 6+ ACEs, which that's a lot for anybody, and you can see kind of how it takes a toll on some students who, they come to school, they're there, but they have a lot of things on their mind. And Western Hills, big shout out to you guys. You guys are doing a great job showing that support. One big thing was that they even set up support for their teachers, because even as a teacher, you get to know these kids, you get to build relationships with them, and there's only so much you can do. You can call, help for the kids. You can call social services and stuff like that. But there's only so much you can do to help these students, and you get affected by, these things that are happening to them, whether it be students having suicides or hurting themselves, or being in a sexual abusive or verbal abusive relationships, and you get to know these kids personally, and it can have an effect. It's kind of like you don't want to get jaded. So they had that support in line for their teachers, which was huge. That's one thing I really liked, is that they're focusing on the students, but they're also making sure that their staff is taken care of too. I was able to go to was project-based learning. It was by Winton Woods High School. Project-based learning is really taking, transitioning their whole school district to project-based learning, and to really do projects tied in with the curriculum, tied in with multiple content areas, and really letting students be the driver's seat in their own learning and education, which is pretty neat. Another one that I was actually in, I was presenting in, I was able to work with 2 great colleagues of mine, Barb Dalpas and Kurt Blumline. Those guys, her and Kurt, are amazing people to work with. And I was very thankful for my administration staff for letting us present. We talked about Google Summit and things that you can do with Google Chrome and Castify, and just kind of different apps and stuff like you can do on that. One of the things I spoke on was Edpuzzle. Edpuzzle is a great resource out there for you teachers. If you like, showing some videos to your classes, it's very user friendly. You can get videos from all over the internet. You can crop them very easily. You can add questions. You can add audio. And it's very, very easy to use. If you have Google Classroom, you can sync it up. It's really, really helpful. I love it. I like using it, and it's easy to grade off of. Now, I won't go right into your grade book, but it's easy to grade, open response questions, which is huge. So it's something that I was very, very excited to present, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to go to the presentation at High Schools That's Worth, their 14th annual Best Practice Showcase. It was really, really cool. Last thing I wanted to touch on was our keynote speaker, which is Lonnie Rivera. Man, this guy was awesome. Just to hear kind of his background, a little bit about his background, teaching wise, but also growing up. His father was part of a family that was migrant farm workers from, he didn't say exactly where, but I'm assuming at least from Central to Southern America. The hard work and passion that he has for his students and for his classes and for his schools is really, really neat to see. He eventually was the interim superintendent for the state of Ohio at one point in time. The guy is doing amazing work. It was really, really cool. He had this book. I forget what the author he had, but he cleaned out the old book room from his first school up in Toledo, and he read it. And it's from 1917. The guy who wrote it, you would think, just from the words that he had, it's basically talking about today. You would know no difference what time period he was writing about. And he kept that book from early on in his career till he still has it. So he goes up to he's interiming for the state superintendent position, and he's walking down the hallway, and he sees this picture of this guy that looks like Wyatt Earp. And it's the exact same guy who wrote that book. So kind of a divine intervention there with Lonnie Rivera. Just a good speaker, good positive attitude. One of the best things that I liked to hear him say was, the state scores don't matter, guys. Don't worry so much about them. Do what you're doing. Do the best thing you can. Teach them the best. And the scores are going to come. But he said, once again, don't worry about the scores. He was the state superintendent. Interim superintendent, but he's the kind of guy I want in that position. I hope he does a lot of great things and keeps on doing the things that he's doing and representing education. But to kind of cap everything off, it was a great experience. I got to meet some of my former colleagues and talk to them and see how their families are doing, and it was just a great experience to be at High Schools at Work. It's a great program. If your high school or school district is not part of it, they also do middle grades. They've really helped out many schools and resources and professional development, and really getting schools to focus on their teachers, their students, their community, and really putting things in the right direction and getting those things to be successful in today's world. So once again, clearly glad I went to the conference and was able to present it. It was a great opportunity, and I really enjoyed it.